Okay. All right. This is my take 2, but hi everyone. I'm really excited to do this. I did check that this comes out on a Saturday. I know you didn't see the take 1, but I got like super lost on like what day this was coming out. So fix that. Secondly, my camera's here, but the screen's here, so like I'm looking at myself, so I just like probably it's my eye contact's gonna be weird. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we're coming to the near end of Lent, and also we're coming to the end of the semester, which is huge. That's crazy. So I just wanted to talk about like some things about like how we need to keep our minds oriented as we near the end of our times. And this is like goes for everything, so not just like specifically Lent or just specifically the school year, and I'll get to that in a second. But essentially, as we come to the end of Lent, near Easter, and as we come to the end of our semester near the summer, it's super important that we remember to endure what we've been doing and keep doing it, and to keep working hard, in keeping up with our fastings, our Lenten promises, academics as far as the school year goes, our clubs, whatever you're involved in. Like, you have to, like, just because we're getting to the end doesn't mean you can stop, because we have the privilege of knowing when the end is, and that's like super important, because sometimes it's regarding the end of things we don't know, but we know when Lent is going to end. It's going to end on Easter, and it's going to be amazing because of the resurrection, which I'm super excited to see how these reflections talk about the preparing for the resurrection. And then we are coming to the end of the semester, which for some people is graduation, which is like huge because then you got to do like real life stuff, which college is like kind of real life stuff, but like post college is real life stuff. Juniors becoming seniors, me sophomores becoming juniors, freshmen. I hope you enjoyed your first year. For me, my second year was better, so maybe for you that's some hope. But regardless, endurance. I'm gonna give you some verses. Feel free to look back at them. I'm gonna probably explain them rather than read them, and so one of them I am gonna read, but just for the sake of that, yes. But in Matthew 25, 1 through 13, it's the story about needing lamp oil, and the foolish who did not weren't prepared with their oil go and buy oil, and they come back for like to keep their lamp lit. They come back and the master had returned, and they were supposed to be ready for the master to return and keep awake and have their lamp ready. And when they come back, the doors to the building are locked and they can't get in. And the master says to be gone, like I don't know you. And the idea of that is that like they might have been ready to endure, but they weren't ready for as long as like they needed to be. And the point of this is like we need to be ready for, like, we could say the return of the master or Jesus, like the second coming, but like in this case, like more of just ready to endure for longer than we expect, and like keep going and keep that spiritual readiness within us at all times. And then in Matthew 26 verse 45, this is when the disciples are sleeping. Jesus is praying in Gethsemane, when he's praying like, Lord, if this cup may pass, and he comes back and he asks the disciples to pray with him, but they keep falling asleep. They're not enduring with Jesus. Like, Jesus is probably suffering emotionally in distress because he's about to, like, he probably knows that he's going through this passion, and he just is asking his friends to stick with him and like endure this, being awake with him, and they're not, and he's like, you need to stay awake. This is like super important. And keeping that endurance and awakeness and spiritual readiness is how we get to the end. It's what we're called to do. And among that, like, so that means like keeping our academics up, keeping our club activities up, our prayer lives, keeping true to that, and then keeping up with our Lenten promises. But most importantly, as I'm going to point out in Matthew 24 verse 12, And because lawlessness has increased, most people's love will become cold, but the one who endures to the end is the one who will be saved. So again, this idea of endurance and keeping to the end. We can't just throw away our love for other people. No matter our suffering, no matter what we have to endure, whether our academics are like struggling, we have like 4 Fs, or say you're taking 18 credits and you're barely keeping a B in any of them, or say you've just kept failing in your Lenten promise, or say like you're fasting and you're like getting really hungry and you're just like, oh, I'm just hungry. Like yeah, like that's funny and all, but like we're called to uphold this like idea of like Christly love and imitation towards one another, that is like the greatest commandment that he gave us, and like the highest calling that he asks of us. And ultimately, like that's what he wants, is he wants us to see him in all people, the dignity of God, love them, and endure that love to the end. Because if that love goes cold, then there's nothing left. Everything will be gone. So as we're getting to the end of Lent and we're getting the end of the school year, remember to like love your roommates, love your friends, take care of those relationships. Especially in the summer, you won't see some of these people maybe for 3 or 4 months, and if you're graduating, who knows like how. I mean, I hope that your guys' relationships are built on strong foundation and all of that good stuff. But it's I mean, it's gonna be effort no matter what. But and I'm sure you get my point. But just to add on to this a little bit, in the Stations of the Cross, which I got to pray with yesterday. There's one of the, I think it's the eighth station. It's Jesus consoles the weeping women, and just to just imagine the horrificness of the crucifixion as or of his passion leading up to the crucifixion, with him being whipped, the crown of thorns, falling. He's probably barely able to breathe. He's barely able to walk. I don't know if this is before or after Simon helps carry the cross, but regardless, like he can't even carry his own cross. But amidst that suffering and needing to endure to the end, enduring to the crucifixion, he still takes a moment to console these crying women and outwardly loves them. I know, like for me, it'd be so easy. Like just I'm in such a bad mood right now. Like I can't talk to you. I'm like or like I don't want to talk to you. I can't help you. Like I have this all of these things that I need to take care of for myself first. And Jesus not only says to endure love and say like that's the most important thing, stay vigilant to being able to outwardly love. He does it, and we will never have to go through as much pain as a crucifixion. But I think that goes to show how we are called to do that. Love amidst our suffering, amidst our endurance. Keep awake spiritually. Don't give into sin. Just I mean, I'm saying these as if it's like easy, and I'm like, oh yeah, like if you don't do this, you're gonna die. Like that's not what I'm saying. Like it's hard. It's gonna be hard. Like that's why we have Easter and Lent, to practice enduring more suffering of like fasting or promises, so that way when Easter comes, the resurrection is like, Easter's like this huge celebration, because it was like, oh yes, like I gave up all these things and now I can celebrate with these things. Say I gave up like ice cream for Lent, which would be impossible, but and then on Easter I'm like, oh my gosh, like now I can eat ice cream and this is great. Like I can celebrate God resurrecting and bringing new life into the world and defeating death, which is like the greatest thing ever. So yeah, as we get to the end of Lent and the end of school year, remember to endure, remember to love everyone, and when it gets hard, remember the resurrection. The goodness that comes of the resurrection will always be better than like the worstness of the suffering. So yeah, thanks guys.